Welcome to another episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, putting those strategies together to get that green. Today we have a wonderful guest. Now this one I have to be honest. This one's a little bit special to me. We have with us today Tashana Thompson from Beyond Business Solutions. And I am excited because we're going to talk about how do you deal with talent that doesn't respect you because they look at your weaknesses and they don't really necessarily hit those deadlines and targets that you want. Now, we all can relate to that when we have that really, really nice leader. So welcome, Tashana.
Oh, Vicki, thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Delighted to be with you.
And I'm more excited to have you. So, Tashana, will you share with the audience about Beyond Business Solutions?
Sure. Beyond Business Solutions is a 14-year-old marketing agency, and we are really full service, but with one goal in mind. So I call myself a relationship marketer because I'm all about relationships. Business is about relationships, and you and I know that more than anybody, right? And our goal is really to help our audiences build real relationships with their audiences that lead to real dollars.
Okay. And I'm all about that green.
Exactly, right? So, that's what we're all about. And we have several tactics that we do to get our folks there: social media management, email marketing, a ton of strategy, which I love. And we really take those things on and serve as an outsource agency for entrepreneurs and small businesses that are looking to take their businesses to the next level.
Yeah. Now, the reason she's talking about that is because I have been a client of hers as long as I've been in business for myself for 10 years. So let me tell you, I know about how this workflow goes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But in order for our audience to really understand your challenge, what is it that you're experiencing with your talent?
I think that one of the other guests that was on earlier really spoke to it, people getting too comfortable. And you want to serve as an empathetic leader. I am trying to create a culture of community and family in my organization as I grow. But it seems like I'm taking it too far and they taking it too far too, right? And really, there not being an understanding of who works for who here, who's paying who. And I know that a lot of that is on me as a leader that's trying to be, like I said, empathetic and really wanting to feel like I'm creating a sense of community. But they taking it too far.
Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today and talk about some strategies around how we can get there. But I want to ask you a couple questions first.
Sure.
How do you show up when someone doesn't meet a deadline? What do you do?
I'm pretty direct, as you know, and I let my disdain or disappointment be known. However, I don't know that in my business that I have really key established points of, okay, you don't do this, you're not getting paid, or, some type of repercussion for not meeting a deadline. It's like, okay, hurry up, get it to me as soon as you can. Like, what's the recourse, right? So that's the challenge. That's a real challenge. Like, if expectations aren't met, what will happen?
Now, are these employees of yours or are these people that you are partnering with?
They're contractors of mine.
Okay.
Yes, they're contractors of mine.
Okay. Well, one of the things when you are getting contractors that are part of your business is that you really want to ensure you're getting someone that understands not only your culture, but your expectations, right?
Absolutely.
And expectations are in place because of the quality that you want to deliver. So as a leader, we know that when they make good decisions, we get it. When they make bad decisions, we get it. When customers are happy, we get it. When customers are sad, we get it. Mm-hmm. And so you are that face. So the challenge is that if you allow everyone that supports you to really say, well, I didn't get it done, it's okay, and there's it's not going to bother me at all, then you're setting an environment up that says that the quality that you're looking for, the expectation of time that you're looking for, doesn't necessarily have to be there, right? And if there are contractors, the consequence is I don't give you another project,
Absolutely.
right? And so if I don't come back to you again, it's because you didn't fulfill that opportunity. But I think it's important for us to always give feedback, even if it's an entrepreneur or a contractor, to say, look, I would love to have you on another project, but you weren't meeting my deadlines. We weren't able to get things done. And therefore, it put my business at risk, which puts me and my family at risk.
Absolutely.
So that I can't, I don't want to give you another opportunity,
Right.
To make that happen. So do you get feedback from the people that you work with when they don't make a deadline? Is it just excuses? What kind of feedback do you receive?
So sometimes, as a small business with less than 10 employees, sometimes I am the bottleneck, and I admit that, right? And I know that. And that is an issue that I've corrected in my processes. So if they are looking for things to get checked off on, or looking for approvals and things of that nature. But that's the primary thing, that, oh, I didn't know what this was, or I didn't understand this, or those types of excuses is typically what I get, or I didn't get this content plan, or I don't know, what to do. And from my standpoint, it's like, okay, that's why I'm hiring you. Think. Like, I'm hiring people to think, not people that I have to spoon feed every, piece of data in order for them to complete their objective.
Well, we're going to take a station break, and when we come back, we're going to explore that a little further. We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
Strategic minds making money moves to get that green. The thing we have to think about is, I'd like to give you something to consider. Not only do we have to do it for our businesses, but I contend you do it for yourself. You know why I say that? Because if you think personally, you have a budget at home, only so much money comes in, only so much money can go out. You have things that you do at home called processes, meaning who's going to wash the dishes, who's taking the trash out, who's cooking the meal, who's doing the laundry. All of those things are how your household actually runs and operates. When it comes to people, not only is it the people within your household, the people that you live with each and every day. What happens when people come to visit? What does that look like? So you have that component of people as well. And guess what? You're also an employer. Did you know that? Did you know you are the CEO regardless to what you do to earn your money? Because as that CEO, your customers are the people that you pay. When you go to the grocery store, that's a customer of yours. You're paying money to it. And they expect you to come, and they're what? Relying on those dollars. When you get your lawn cut, when you get your nails done, when you get your hair done, all of those people are customers because they're relying on you to give them their money. They're relying on you to make that paycheck. When things happen in your household and you go, well, can't afford to go get my nails done this week, you look at it as, I just can't get it done. The person that does your nail looks at it as, I lost. I'm not making money. I'm without. So we have to consider not only the strategies of home, but they also translate to the strategies at work. So I contend each and every person can have strategic minds to make money moves, whether you're trying to make the money in the household personally or whether you're trying to do it professionally, when whatever capacity you may earn those dollars. So think about always understanding that strategy is practice all the time. We make those moves by conscious decisions, and those conscious decisions give us what we need in terms of developing that green at the end of the day, letting the dollars come in. So let it rain, Let it rain dollars on top of dollars because you're using great strategies for implementation. Welcome back to this episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves. I have my awesome guest today, Tashana Thompson, with me. So before the station break, we were talking about how your employees would respond, or even your contractors, just part of your team, your team members, how they would respond when they did not make a deadline or something did not happen. I do think that as we peel back the onion, you said you're some of the bottleneck, and you admit that, right?
Absolutely.
And so you have gone through to change some of the processes to make that happen. But I think it's a little bit more than that. You know, one of the things that when we begin to look for others to represent us, we want them to think, but we want them to be of the same mindset.
Oh, absolutely.
We want them to understand what we stand for. So I'd like to ask you a little bit about your interviewing.
Sure.
When you go to interview these clients, how do you find the potential partner that's going to work with you as part of your extended team?
Right. And to date, I think that may have been, I know that's probably part of the issue, a lot of referrals. And, you know, when you're starting out, you have limited budgets. So you're looking to get talent for, you know, low cost talent. And sometimes you have, you know, family or, you know, colleagues or, you know, old colleagues or friends helping you out. And, you know, obviously we get what we pay for. And I learned that the hard way as well. But a lot of referrals, pretty much everyone that I've worked with has been a referral or a family member or whomever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that when you go to hire talent, it's really important. And we know as entrepreneurs, when we hire family, that's already hard to begin with, right? Because you know, you got to tell your family member when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing or handling what needs to be done. But at the same time, I think it's really important that your standards are set ahead of time, even through that interview process. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I have found helpful is giving scenario interviews. If this occurs, what would you do? Let them answer it on their own versus you setting a precedence. So before you even talk about, well, this is the kind of culture I'm trying to set or whatever, you save that to the end. You do more case study kinds of scenarios, more things of what ifs, what about this, what about that, what does that look like? So that you're getting their authentic,
Right.
you know, response.
Absolutely.
So that as they're being authentic about it, you're like, okay, well, that's not going to fit in my culture. I don't even need to go any further. Right. In terms of making it happen. The second thing is asking questions about, you know, have you ever not met a deadline before? What did you do and how'd you handle it? What were the consequences to that? Right? Understanding that as well gives you a little bit about where are they coming from and what's valuable to them. And last but not least, believe it or not, one of the things that I have found that has been really beneficial is when I do scenarios that have nothing to do with the job. It could be, you know, a family member has this and this happens, or so-and-so, what decisions did you make and how did you make them? Something that's totally off. Because what that does, it gives you their mind of how do they separate the issue? How do they think about their strategies of solving things? You know, you give them things and say, I didn't give you all the pieces to the pie, right? I didn't give you all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. And now you have to solve this problem. Those are the kinds of things that will help you to delineate getting that right talent. Right?
I love that.
In terms of making that happen. And then when you find a good one, obviously we always want to keep the good ones, right? And keep them happy. And then when we think about that budget that comes with it, I would really encourage you that as you are building your financial budget from year to year, understanding what your clientele is looking like and what you want, don't hold on to bad seeds. That aren't going to help you because you are spending more time when you hold on to those bad seeds, and you also are spending a lot of time apologizing when things aren't happening. And then it makes it hard for people to want to come back to you. But when you have those bad seeds, don't just, you know, there's a thing sometimes where you can say to people, you know, this just isn't working out here. I would suggest that you look at opportunities that look like this, because this is where you can shine. So I can give you the bad news, but also give you feedback that you can grow and develop on. I don't have to tear everybody down.
Right.
Right. And so I know that it's really important to you to have that relationship, but that can help to balance that relationship piece out.
Right.
So that you're not feeling like, okay, oh my God, they got to pay bills. They're an entrepreneur. They got to feed their family. They got to do this too. And you're taking all that pressure on personally.
Right.
But rather take the opportunity to say, not working here, but I think you would be great at this. Right?
Exactly.
And I think this is where you should shine. So if you want to use me a reference for something like this, I can support you 100%, right? Because this just wasn't a fit in terms of what we're looking for.
Exactly.
Right, and time-wise and things like that. When your employees or your team members come back to you and they've given these excuses and you come back and you say to them, okay, just get it to me as soon as possible. How do you feel?
Angry and embarrassed. So if I have to tell a client that something's behind, which typically doesn't happen, but every blue moon it does, that's embarrassing. If there's something that I've given to someone else, or I take it on myself, because that's me, I'm the fixer, right? And it throws my timeline completely off of what I have to do, and then I'm up all times of the night and up at 4 a.m. getting projects done that I shouldn't have had to have my hand in the first place. So, yeah.
So you feel angry. And what do you do about that anger? How do you handle that?
Drink wine? No. No.
Well, as an entrepreneur, I can't say I haven't done that too.
That's what we do. No, I express, and I'm not a rah with my team members, so I express my disappointment and my frustration. I mean, what are you gonna do? Move on.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask you that is because I think that as entrepreneurs, there's one thing that we have a tendency to forget. We are in it 500%. Nobody loves that business like we do. But the impact on your health,
oh, absolutely,
can be monumental.
Absolutely.
When you have things around you that are not going well.
Oh.
So
yes.
I would encourage you that, I know you get angry, but we have to, it's fine to feel the emotion. We all should feel it. But we need to know how to properly deal with it.
Absolutely.
Because next it's high blood pressure, it's this, it's that, and the weight on us, the stress on us shows up. And you've got a family.
Absolutely.
And if we make a priority, exactly. And if we make a priority, it's not going to be the employees first, right?
Absolutely.
It's your family is number one to you.
Of course.
And that's what you do. And your business is to help to support that.
Right.
So I would just strongly encourage you to continue to think about your wellness. Sure. We're going to take a station break. And when we come back, we're going to follow up with a few more tips and see if we have any questions from the audience or any advice. We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
Strategic Minds Making Money Moves to get that green. The thing we have to think about is I'd like to give you something to consider. Not only do we have to do it for our businesses, but I contend you do it for yourself. You know why I say that? Because if you think personally, you have a budget at home, only so much money comes in, only so much money can go out. You have things that you do at home called processes, meaning who's going to wash the dishes, who's taking the trash out, who's cooking the meal, who's doing the laundry. All of those things are how your household actually runs and operates. When it comes to people, not only is it the people within your household, the people that you live with each and every day, what happens when people come to visit? What does that look like? So you have that component of people as well. And guess what? You're also an employer. Did you know that? Did you know you are the CEO regardless to what you do to earn your money? Because as that CEO, your customers are the people that you pay. When you go to the grocery store, that's a customer of yours. You're paying money to it. And they expect you to come, and they're what? Relying on those dollars. When you get your lawn cut, when you get your nails done, when you get your hair done, all of those people are customers because they're relying on you to give them their money. They're relying on you to make that paycheck. When things happen in your household and you go, well, can't afford to go get my nails done this week, you look at it as, I just can't get it done. The person that does your nail looks at it as, I lost. I'm not making money. I'm without. So we have to consider not only the strategies of home, but they also translate to the strategies at work. So I contend each and every person can have strategic minds to make money moves, whether you're trying to make the money in the household personally or whether you're trying to do it professionally, when whatever capacity you may earn those dollars. So think about always understanding that strategy is practice all the time. We make those moves by conscious decisions, and those conscious decisions give us what we need in terms of developing that green at the end of the day, letting the dollars come in. So let it rain dollars on top of dollars because you're using great strategies for implementation. So welcome back to Strategic Minds Making Money Moves. So Tashana, as as we were finishing that conversation and talking about some of the things you can do, one of the last things I want to leave you with as you begin to think about this, and thinking about yourself, your family, your business, the kind of talent you bring in and how you bring in talent, the kinds of questions that you ask, and all of that. I know it's hard that when you have these high expectations, you're letting them know that, but you're really nice because you are that true relationship person, and you're really nice. The thing that I think you have to always remember is your nicety won't pay your bills if your back engine doesn't work.
Oh, I love that. Oh,
your nicety won't pay your bills if that back engine does not work. So you have worked too hard and too long to get to this point.
Absolutely.
And to be in business for 14 years, which is commendable within itself.
Thank you.
But to be in business for 14 years, I think it's really important for you to remember those priorities as you're moving forward, because that is your baby.
Absolutely.
Right? And you've done a lot to build it and to make it what it is.
Absolutely.
So, when those things are happening, it's going to take a process, it's going to take some time, but I would encourage you as you're bringing on other people and as things are happening, maybe have your team group call meetings as if it's your own, their employees, right? As you're doing your staff meetings, those kinds of things, those reminders, the constant communication, letting them know about, what you're looking for and why. Letting them know as a company how, we're doing really well, but we've missed, 20% of our deadlines. And that's just not acceptable, right? But doing those kinds of things as a group and also getting their buy-in as to how you can help. Because you may think there's some things that you're a bottleneck on, they may think it's some other things that exist too.
Right.
And so in order for you to look at it holistically, because none of us are perfect, we all have our areas, but as you look at it holistically, understand from their perspective what they see, because you might find some things that you also can improve on in that process.
Love it.
So let's ask our audience, do you have any questions?
Yes, I have. I guess it's a question compound.
Okay.
I want to say that I really empathize with your situation in terms of dealing with the contractors, because I'm a lot like you. But what I've learned over the years is that we are who we are, and our natures are what they are. And to even try to begin to change them brings a lot of frustration and anxiety and angst. And we really don't want that. So you might want to consider getting yourself a bad cop if you can afford it.
Yes. Yes, I love that idea.
Yes, that would be my suggestion. And I've seen it work. I've seen it work in a couple of organizations, and it works really well.
Yes.
With a guy who's, or the lady,
Right.
who's very empathetic and nice, they can continue to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And have somebody else deal
Right.
with those issues they're not willing, not that they're not willing to deal with, but they're not really, they're not made up in such a way, they're not made up in such a way that they can deal with those effectively.
Right. And that is one of the things that I did this year, was to bring in a COO to kind of run my team meetings and things like that. And, I was almost like, oh, you're being too hard on them, or you're a little rough, like, So I have to let that bad cop be the bad cop, and they get it. They get it, right?
But that's part of that
Right,
balance
it's a
of
balance,
that relationship.
right? I love that. Thank you so much for that.
So thank you so much. Will you all join me in thanking my guests today on this episode?
Thank you, Vicki.
So I hope you'll join in with us next week on our next episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves. See you then.